Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Off the Rip. We're going to be talking about Arlington Supercross. I actually got to go see it live. Did not disappoint whatsoever, man. It was Military Appreciation Weekend, so we saw a lot of cool kits. It was a Triple Crown as well. Normally, I'm not really a fan of Triple Crowns, but this time, I liked it. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down the RM Fantasy picks, wild moments, because you know we saw a lot of wild moments from Arlington. Webb's Kingdom and him just dominating there at AT&T Stadium. And the 250 class, who really came out swinging like they said they were before the break. And then some Daytona bench racing. So let's get into it in this episode of Off the Rip. Starting off in press day, we saw Chase Sexton, the quad god himself, bust out that huge quad. They ended up taking it out for the race, but it was super sick to see. Nobody else wanted to bust that thing out, so props to him for doing it. Then in practice, we saw Webb and Anderson get into it. Seeing that fire from Webb, seeing the fire from Anderson, I was like, man, they're going to take each other out or something. And then tough blocks, again, on this technical track. No bueno for most of the riders. I mean, we saw Jordan Smith hit tough blocks twice in one lap actually and go down. So, but the biggest one was when Julian Beaumarin qualifying. He goes for that triple, nails the tough block, went down. He was okay, was able to race, but tough block monster coming out to play like every round. I don't think a lot of people saw this one, but when I pulled up for the LCQ and I saw Henry Miller nail a photographer, and the photographer had to get carted off, which was crazy. I've never seen that before in my life. So hopefully that guy's okay and can heal up, but it did not look good whatsoever. Then to get into the racing, Jordan Smith, gnarly crash in the whoops, dude. Like, that was a fast, hard hit that he took, but he gave the little shotguns like, yeah, we'll be back. Tough. He's a tough dude, that's for sure. And then getting into the second main in the 450, Anderson, Barsha getting into it. Anderson just goes and cleans out Barsha, which was sick. I love to see two aggressive riders going at it, and they both end up going down. You know, and obviously this is the storyline, the biggest wild moment coming out of AT&T Stadium. Chase just nailing Cooper Webb's rear tire in that third main. He had the win. You know, he was in contention for the overall spot, but he wanted more. He got a little greedy, got a lot greedy actually, and went down, man. And that was that. Cooper Webb ends up winning the overall, making it his 7th win at AT&T Stadium. So wild night of racing. Let's move on and talk about some RM fantasy picks. I should have not doubted the man, the 6-time winner, now 7, Cooper Webb. I just didn't think he was going to do it because Chase looked super fast, but he did look good too. But I just thought, you know, Chase, hasn't gotten a win. He's going to come into Arlington swinging. I had Cooper Webb 3rd. I actually had Chase 1st. My bad. Getting ahead of myself. Chase Sexton was 1st. Then I put Coop. I knew he was going to be there. 3rd, Ken Roxon. Super consistent with starts. He just does really well at Triple Crowns. A lot of people had him for the win, but I just thought podium for sure. Then 4th, I put Malcolm Stewart, which he normally does good in Texas, but this time he kind of had some problems and didn't find himself in that top 5. 5th place, Justin Cooper, fast in qualifying. His starts have been lights out recently. The wild card this time was actually really tough, but I just took a shot in the dark. I thought maybe Ferrandis. You know, he's kind of been around that area and that placing, so you guys did better than me. Congrats. Not too bad though, you know, made like $3 in RM fantasy cash, so we're stacking it up. All right, man, getting into this 450 class, we go into Webb's Kingdom. Going off that first main event, him finishing 6th, I was like, I really wanted him to win, but I was like, it's not gonna happen tonight. He's done. It's over for him. Boy, was I wrong. I don't know if it's because he gels with the dirt in Texas, or if Cooper Webb is just a refined and a new Cooper Webb that we're seeing. But dude, he was riding so good. Like they always say, he finds alternate lines, and I got to see it firsthand. I was like, watching him, I'm just like, how the hell does this guy think of switching up these lines? Like, he'll go down the start straight and everybody's pushing out, and he made a pass. He was like, boop, just going to go right down basically where the tough blocks are, where nobody was going, and he made a pass. He just thinks on the fly. When it's race time, he can adapt really well. Like, I was super impressed with Cooper Webb. When Chase made a pass, Coop was like, I got to get around the same guy too. He was making the passes quick. He did not let himself get bogged down with these riders that were in front of him. And these are good riders, man. Like, he's passing Roxon, Barsha, like just guys who are really hard to pass and just doing it. Just how Chase was, he was getting around him. So bottom line from that with Cooper Webb, he digs deep. Whenever the moment matters, he finds a way to make it happen. That's going to help out in this championship. It's going to be tough for Chase. So going off that, Coop normally plays mind games with his competitors, right, for this title. And I was thinking, I wonder what kind of mind games Cooper Webb will play with Chase Sexton. After thinking about it, I'm like, this guy really doesn't have to do anything because Chase Sexton is sort of self-destructive. But I think when Chase is out front and he kind of doesn't have anything to worry about, that's when he gets into his own head. That's when he makes mistakes. I mean, even when he's in the back of the pack trying to move up through the pack, he forces the issue just a little too much. I know he made the mistake with Jake Coop. Like, yeah, that was on him. Him stalling the bike, yeah, that was on him. But that last pass attempt or just, tripling into that corner, he had Mitchell Harrison on the outside. Coop just really, looking at the video, Coop just cut down right away, and you can tell he wasn't expecting that. He was coming in with more speed. He was going to round the corner. So that one was like kind of not his fault, but it still is his fault because he shouldn't have been so greedy and trying to pass Cooper Webb because he had it wrapped up, But this guy just clearly just wants to win. So, looking ahead at Daytona, the storyline is somebody can be a first-time Daytona winner in the 450 class. Do you guys think it'll be Cooper Webb? We saw him give Eli Tomac a run for his money in 2023. Or do you guys think it'll be Chase Sexton? Do you think he's just going to be so pissed off, so ready to go? And that's kind of where I'm at. I think he's just going to blow everybody's doors off. He's definitely going to go hard, I feel like, and get this win. So that's enough of the 450 class. Congrats to Coop for getting it done 7 times at AT&T Stadium. Let's move on to the 250 class. So coming into Arlington, these West Coast riders were coming off a break. 3 riders said they were going to come out swinging. That was Beaumer, Davies, and Deegan. And I was curious to see who that rider would be. A lot of eyes were on Deegan. He did a lot of work during the break over the 2 weeks. So yeah, he showed out, and it showed that he put in the work. But one thing about him is his attitude. It's a lot different than what we've seen this season and in prior seasons. He's really buckled down, got very serious, and we kind of saw the same thing happen with Jet Lawrence. He was kind of this happy-go-lucky, and then he got real serious, all business, no emotion really. So what do you guys think? When Deegan gets to the 450 class, do you think he will have this kind of trash talk, kind of carefree vibe, or do you think he's going to be more stoic like an Eli Tomac? But man, honestly, I do like when the kid's talking trash. It's fun. It's entertaining. I don't want to just see him, thanking his sponsors and stuff like that because, I think that's why a lot of people root for him. But anyway, talking about his competitor, Julian Beaumer. I don't know. He was kind of off, right? I don't know if it was his bike. Maybe he had an illness. Maybe it was the dirt, but he was just off. And, I thought he was going to be at least winning one of these races or, battling with Deegan, battling with Cole Davies, just battling up front. And, he did not do so. He loses the red plate, so he's going to have to bounce back in Indy, which is going to be super hard because it's going to be an East-West shootout. Those East boys are ripping. It's going to be tough for them. But yeah, Deegan pretty much stamps it that he's the guy in this West Coast class now going into that shootout. So now moving into Daytona, let's do a little bit of bench racing. Max Anstie got robbed in Detroit. Yeah, he's looking for a win. I think he's going to be the guy that pulls it off. But you got RJ Hampshire, who's in desperate need of some points, right? He's a Florida boy. He wants to put on for the hometown crowd. He did pretty well in that 450 class in the heat race. I think he won was it last year, 2 years ago. And then the Frenchman, the crafty Frenchman, Tom Vial, who's really good at outdoors. He's good at Daytona. If it gets technical, he's going to be really good. He's looking for his first win this season. So he might be able to give Anstey and Hampshire a run for their money and maybe might pull off this win. So that's going to be super interesting to watch these three guys. I think they're going to be the heavy hitters going into Daytona. So I'm excited. I'm actually going to go to Daytona. It's going to be super sick, and can't wait to enjoy that Florida weather and watch these guys lay it down on that Daytona track. So I'll be here on Off the Rip next week and talk about Daytona with y'all. Peace.